So everyone, welcome to our script writing session, and this would be around 23rd or something like that class. And in this class will be continuation of discussion on Breaking Bad season 2. Season 1 we have done, and before that I have done I have explained about writing a feature film. So if you are watching there, if you are a newcomer or if you are watching in YouTube, you can please go and check it out on YouTube. You can call me, you can WhatsApp me on 852-7533-051. If you are outside India, you can send WhatsApp to India with +91 ISD code. What is this? ISD international code. Okay. So any one of you first, if you wanted to ask me something, you can ask me. If you want anything, if you want any document, anything, so you can ask me in the class. Okay. So lockdown has been revoked in Delhi, and it had been last 2 days were very busy for me, and because as I told you, I also have a books business, and we send books to outside Delhi. So we pack books, and the orders were lying there for the last 2 days. But I spent my nights in watching, but I couldn't go through much into the details. However, I have seen this series, these episodes I have already seen. So this might be very boring class, because if I got time to prepare, I would have told you something after reading this. But I also wanted to carry it like this, so that there are many people who wanted to write synopsis. So you will get a chance to hear. So I will begin with episode 3. The name of the episode is Bit by a Deed B. Bit by a Deed B. Okay. Let's see what's in the episode. So far what has happened? Let us wrap up the things. In episode 1, the chemistry teacher Walter, he was living a life of humiliation. His friends with whom he formed the company, they became rich through his discoveries. He left that company, might be because of some problem, and then he became a chemistry teacher in school. And to earn more, he worked in a car service center. And there one day he was spotted by his school kids, the children whom he teach. They made fun of him. And he is having a brother-in-law whose name is Hank, and he is in the narco department, EDA, that is drug controlling department. So through Hank, he came to know that there is a lot of money in the drug business, and he meets, one day he spots his ex-student, Jesse Pinkman. And he went to a spot where this raid was happening with Hank. So there he spotted Jesse, and then he went to Jesse and made a deal that I will make the drug by the name meth, and you sell it. So they started this, and then there was some misunderstanding with the two drug dealers with whom Jesse was dealing. They thought that Walter was behind the raid. They were present at the actual raid was, when the raid took place, one of them was there. And then in the meantime, for defense, first by mistake Walter killed one of the drug dealer, and they captivated the other one, and he wanted to attack Walter, but Walter also killed him. And then, after the death of these drug dealers, Walter asked Jesse to sell it on his own. Like, so Jesse went there, but we came to know that Walter, why Walter is doing this? Because he is having a lung cancer, and his friends, his ex-girlfriend, who is wife of his friend, they came to his to pay his bills as a charity, and they offered him job. Now this was very humiliating, that the company whom he built with them, they were not offering partnership, rather they were offering a kind of charity. So he refused that. And later on he came to know that his treatment is very expensive and he needs more money. So he asked Jesse to find another drug dealer. And Jesse met Tuco. And on the very first meeting, now Tuco is very aggressive person, funny but aggressive. Tuco beats Jesse, sent him to hospital. This makes Walter angry. He goes with some small slices of some which have the quality of like bursting. It's like bomb, small, very so small. And there he made a deal by blackmailing him that I will supply the meth and you have to pay first. So deal was made, and but the guy is very dangerous. So they find that the guy is dangerous. This was the story part, and apart from story, I have already told you about the character of Walter and character of Jesse. That Walter is a person who is intelligent, but his life is in a mess. His friends, his ex-girlfriend, they became rich. His brother-in-law, so from somewhere, he's getting like Cuban cigars, and he doesn't reveal his economic status. He just said that I got it from some some FBI agent. He gifted him. Walter's son, Walter Jr., he is having some physical problem. He can't walk properly, can't talk properly, and his wife is having a dream of becoming writer. And the opening scene in the very first episode shows that Walter was once nominated for Oscar. And then in the next scene, we see that when they are having breakfast, the first family gathering in the episode, like in the first episode of the show, they are not satisfied with the meal they are taking. So up to that much is their economic situation. So Walter needs money for his lung cancer, to make his wife happy, to make his son happy, and for their life. But that is an external need of the character. And we as a writer have to stick to our internal needs. So his internal need is that he is timid. He is humiliated by others. He can't go beyond his views. He can't become bad. That is the why they have given the name Breaking Bad. So Walter is a person who is actually a good person, but he can't do bad. Okay. Okay. So Ashok has said that in Breaking Bad, Walter is guru of Chisti, and I said that guru can't go up to like guru is a teacher. So he's a teacher of Jesse. See, so far I have seen 2 seasons. Up to 2 seasons, there is nothing has come that they are separated. They make a team. But I tell you one thing, later on, after making 5 seasons, they have made a film. I think its name is El Camino or something like this, where Jesse is the only in the lead. So they have taken, might be in the next episodes. I have not seen all the 5 seasons, but they have taken Jesse later on in the film or in the site, might be in the later episodes that I have to watch. Then I will come to this. But so far he is also a guru of, he is also a teacher of Jesse up to 2 seasons, and he's also it's also a team between these two people. And if they will remove in the future episodes, if they give power to the main character, Jesse will become the main character, then the guru would be gone. But they are, so when you are starting also, you keep it in mind, it's not a feature film concept that if guru is there, it's a 2-hour movie, it's a long format. So they just can't take away a character who is also a guru and who is also an important person. Like you, if you see, because I have seen 6 seasons of Vikings. If you have seen Vikings, up to 3rd season, Ragnar is the main character. And he is not only the main character, he is guru of all his people, all his community member. He is also guru of the other kings whom he teaches, like whom he tells the tactics, new strategies. So he is a very powerful character, but he dies in the 3rd season. In the very last episode he dies, and then we see the new characters emerging, which are his sons. And he is also guru for them. But this format is different. So it is not that he is only playing guru for his children. He is an extension. They are an extension of his character. So now what this is, because this is a long journey. It's not a very small journey. Jesse was not good in college. And he picked Jesse. And Jesse has to overcome. Even if to make Jesse a main character, he has to overcome. He has to learn. He hasn't learned. His grades were very poor. So you can see in the many episodes that Walter teaches Jesse that you don't know the basic of chemistry. You don't know this. He asks Jesse to bring a plastic tub to dissolve the corpse by putting an acid in that. And he couldn't find it, and he put the acid in the tub. So Jesse is not perfect up to now to become the hero, to carry on the journey. So might be they will take him, but I think not the 2nd season, which I have seen. So in the 2nd season, so what happens in the end of 1st season? They just made a deal that we will provide you, Walter. Jesse is not ready for this. So Walter just says that I will provide you more math, you give me more cash, and he takes the advance from him. And there one guy speaks, like one of the Tuco's guys speaks before Tuco doesn't like this, he beats him, and then it's finished, and then we see the next season. The next season begins with this, and I have explained you, all of you were there in the yesterday's class, that how Tuco kills his mate, and he's another guy who went there to keep the corpse of the dead person. He also dies in some accident, and then Tuco thinks that it's all Walter is doing, and he takes Walter to his uncle's house to cross the Mexican border. There his uncle can't speak. His uncle responds with desk bell, and there a misunderstanding happens between them because they were teasing his uncle. And meanwhile, the subplots. Now this, what I have told you in a brief, this is called the major plot of the story. This is a major plot. Now, what are the subplots? Subplot is that Mary is a shoplifter. That is one subplot. And back history, like the Walter's friends, this is back history. Hank, who is trying to catch this dealer, this is a subplot. And characters are coming, characters are going, but the main characters are there. So now let us start the third episode of season 2. Having gotten away from Tuco, Walt and Jesse now have to get home and explain where they have been. Walt has a plan for both of them. They split up. Walt goes to a supermarket and takes off all of his clothes, and while walking around the aisles, he is hospitalized and claims to have no memory of where he has been for the last few days. The hospital is unable to find anything wrong with him, and Walt suggests that it was a combination of medication and chemotherapy that could have caused the episode. The hospital believes Walt is at risk for another fugue state, and fugue state, for another fugue state, and forces him to undergo a psychiatric evaluation. Walter admits to psychiatrist after receiving assurance regarding patient confidentiality that he remembers everything and just wanted to get away for a while. They eventually agree to release him. Now up to here, so now this is a story. This is one part of the story. But if you watch the episode, so in this episode begins with a very long view of border area and its terrain, and then we see Walter nude in the supermarket. Like the scene is how the scene is created. This is a synopsis. We don't have the script available. For that, you have to go and watch the episode. See, in this series, what is beautiful in this series is all scenes are when the writers have written this series, there are a lot of scenes which are like thought before of. So they have taken a very good previous thinking, how they build up the scenes. So like the very first episode of first season, where Walter is driving in undergarments, like he's in the underwear. He's driving an RV in underwear. That is his first scene, and he's having mask. So this is the visual elements they are putting, and so in this, so they don't show him taking off the clothes. How do they show? There is a worker in the supermarket, and she finds a shirt, then she finds a pant, shoes. Like this, she's collecting, and then she sees a nude man in front of her. So the way these scenes are created, it's also about the psyche of the people. Because it's not just the story or just writing good things, it's also about the human psychology. So when you are writing, you just go into your mind and write what is coming to your mind. In that way you can create better scenes. So don't bother so much about how people will shoot it. Suppose you are writing, he becomes nude, a woman. So if there is some scene of nudity, you don't worry about that. Nudity is also very beautiful. I mean, to my personal, many times I also think that the figure of nude people, it has become, if you look at the tribals, they are living in such one, but it has become a problem for us. And there's a lot of marketing and advertising and issues are there. So there are also people who also wants to political people and marketing people, they want to make the body parts like to see in a different way than in actual way. So if you look at a baby, we don't see baby with clothes, and the baby looks so beautiful. The baby, suppose the baby is like 1 year old kid, a nude kid. So his arms are so different and so beautiful. And we were taught in psychology. We had a subject called child psychology. I think it was in our second year. That it's the movement of the babies that human beings become so close to the babies. Movement of the babies. So our bodies, our movements, they have their own beauty, but you don't bother about, because it's the director and producers will decide how to shoot that, whether they want to reveal it or not. But you just, because that is also a way of going into your unconscious mind. So you have to go into your unconscious mind, and I'm telling you that you should always avoid to writing at first. Writing at first means the thought which is coming first to your mind. So thought comes, just think that, is it a cliche, is it a repetition, is it something which is not, which is like already seen. So then have a second thought and then write it like. So this was a very beautiful and very and this also scene also shows that Walter getting nude in the market. So this is also showing us to a future, that what will happen to the Walter. He is becoming unmasking himself. It also shows he is unmasking himself in the world. Like, he was under a mask, a good teacher, a good husband, but having a pathetic life. So he's also unmasking himself. Why he's unmasking himself? Because he is going into his subconscious mind. So suppose you want to do something, because it's all in the psychology. The writing work is all about psychology. If you are composing a piece of music, you have to go inside your subconsciousness, unconsciousness. Only then you can produce a very good piece of music. Suppose you are an actor and you are acting without going to your unconscious thoughts, you can't act. You will become a mechanical person, and that is one of the problem when you are writers and if you become directors. Always remember one thing, and I have experienced this with many actors. There are two types of actors. One, actors are very good in the very first shot. The energy and the way they go into their unconscious mind to produce that first shot of their film or whatever they are doing. Artists who take lot of shots, but in the very beginning, like first two shots, they will take lot of takes. To go into the. When I was shooting my film Checkmate, the actor was Vikas Katyal. Later on, he acted in Paschim Express. And it was just a scene where a girl is knocking and he had to open the door and just say hi, hello. That much was the only shot, first shot of our movie. And we took more than 30 shots of that. But he was already from an academic background, and he understood this thing. So that, yeah, I have to. And slowly he got into the character, and then later on, there was nothing I had to tell him about the character. So I think by the third day or fourth day, he was so much into the character that I need not to ask him to give any more takes. He was such a wonderful actor, Vikas Katyal. But our actress, like, she was Yashika Nagpal, was the actress of the movie, and she was just 17 when she came for audition. And I think she just became 17 or 16 she was. She looked matured and she had no experience, but she was a kind of person who could easily give first take of the shot, okay shot. So these are the two types of actors. One of my friends, Sudhir Raut, is also a very good actor, and we had this mise-en-scene exercise in our dialogue exercise was there, but after dialogue exercise we used to have a mise-en-scene exercise. But in dialogue exercise, I purposely or not purposely put a scene which was like a musician. It was a very long take actually. So musician is a long take. So long take I put, and it was like 1 minute 30-second take was there, and it was a small short film kind of, you can say. And for the whole 1 minute 30 seconds, Sudhir had to speak a lot, and he was a mad person. He was playing a mad person. Initially, later on, he becomes better. So he had to speak like आवड़ा कड़ा आवड़ा गिली गिली छू मैं यहाँ से वहाँ से निकल के आया हूँ. Very lengthy dialogue, a dialogue which I learned when I was in 4th standard in 1988. So I was doing a play when I was a child, and from 1988 I put that play in 2004, almost after 16 years into my this short film. Its name was Punarjanam, that is rebirth. So he gave the first take, and what happened by mistake, we didn't shoot him. And I talked to the Sushil Gautam was cinematographer, and a very famous cinematographer nowadays. Like, he was his assistant in that. We were classmates. We know Vikram Goswami, Saurabh Goswami. Saurabh Goswami was assisting Sushil in the camera, and so I talked to Saurabh. Have you taken this take? He said, no, we thought you are taking rehearsal. But after that take, I mean, Sudhir couldn't produce that kind of acting. So this was his style of acting. So when you are directing, so you have to judge what kind of actor you are working with. So because they go into their subconscious mind, and you as a writer also have to go into your subconscious mind. Psychologists say there are 3 states of minds: unconscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Unconscious, when you are, it's like they explain that like a log of wood, it's floating on the water. Now this log of wood, if you put a log of wood onto water, the upper part, which is the dry part, is your consciousness. So you are aware about what's happening around you. The part which is floating, which is just touching the sea, that is your subconscious. The things you forget, but they come to you. And what is unconscious is which you don't know, which is inside the water. The part of log inside the water, that is the unconscious part. And then there are a lot of theories about this unconscious part. You can go and read the book by Carl Gustav Jung, and you can read the Freud's work on unconscious. So unconscious is something which we don't know. A territory of mind. It's not a territory of brain, but it's a territory of mind which we don't know. So you just, when you are writing, just go into unconscious mind. So let us read this. So Jesse returns to his house to clean the basement and get rid of the RV where he and Walt have been making meth. When the DEA agent track him down, he claims that he has been with a prostitute, Wendy, for the week. The DA does not believe him and bring in Tuco's uncle Hector to identify him, but Hector refuses to cooperate with the authorities. They have to let Jesse go. Now this is the scene. I mean, so here again, the writer is trying to prove that not the world which looks bad is bad. Now, last night I was thinking about the movies of an Indian director, Subhash Ghai. He was once a time, he was a very famous, and all of his movies were working. So I think he started his first movie as Kali Charan. Then other movies I have seen, Kali Charan, Ram Lakhan, and some of movies I have seen, not Yade and other movies. So I was wondering that why those movies worked, and why such a good director. I mean, he composed his movies, and he was a very passionate. He did his, I think, diploma in acting from FTII, and later on he became a director. And he was a very passionate guy from Delhi actually. He was from Delhi, from Paharganj. So far my knowledge has gone. So how he failed, like what? But what was not? It's about just how he failed, but what was there which was working in his movies and which did not work later on. So his later movies were Yuvraj, which I have not seen. Yade, I saw it some part of Yade, and before that was Tal was there. Up to Tal, the movies were working, and but up to Tal, there was one thing which was very unique, and I think I found that thing by going through all the discussions which we are going about Breaking a Bad. Because when I am teaching you, I am telling you many times I am not prepared, but because I am through all these years and there are a lot of things going into my mind, and these things come out only when I am teaching, not otherwise. It's like I am talking to you as a friend. So only those things comes, and it's helpful exercise. It's not just teaching, it's like growing up ourselves. So I was thinking that why his movies worked and what the factor was there. He had good music, Yade had good music, and music was one factor, that's okay, but music was also there in many other films. So one factor which I could say that his movies were working because the hero was actually an anti-hero. He was an anti-establishment hero. So I was watching some videos actually. Why it also came to mind, I was watching a video of Peter Russell's. So if you can go to YouTube, please watch videos of Peter Russell's. And Peter Russell also gives classes. I have no personal contact with him. I just watches his videos, and he's a script consultant. He's actually a script writer, but his major work is he's a script doctor or script consultant. Script doctor is someone who takes the script, and because he is into the writing or involved with the process of writing for many years, he or she takes the script and then they try to rebuild it or tell the shortcomings and what are the good qualities. So he was talking about anti-hero. I just saw a video, then suddenly something from my mind came about Subhash Ghai, that his movies were so good. And it's not that that thing came into my mind just yesterday, but it was haunting my, I was finding this answer why Subhash Ghai's movies were not working like, and his movies were very good. So last night I thought that the hero was anti-hero. The hero was anti-establishment hero. If you look at Hero, the movie Hero, the Kali Charan, the very first movie he made, Shatrughan Sinha is playing, and the good hero dies and the bad hero comes, and the bad hero, he also takes a bribe from the bad people, but somehow he becomes good. So I think if you can do like this, to make a bad person make a good, this story, and that is how sometimes it's very human thing. And we all are like robots. Like when we think, you can watch this web series called Robot. It's on Amazon. It's very wonderful web series. It is it becomes boring, but the ideas they give in this web series are amazing ideas. So they have crashed all the hyper world which is created by internet and capitalists and business lobbies and politicians. They have crashed. They have busted all these ideas. See, the world we are living in, and I told you in the very beginning classes to read Bernard Russell, who is a philosopher, and to read more about the philosophers, because there is something called concepts in our minds and we operate on those concepts. Politicians, they educate us through schools, through colleges, the newspapers, the news world, and then they made our perceptions. And we have to get away from that, and then to find the answer of our problems. And our answer of our problems lies in the concepts. You have to rebuild the concept. So a bad person might become a good person, and this kind of character works. Like if you have seen Taxi Driver, he is also a bad guy, but for the whole movie he tries to kill the president. His aim is to kill the president, but in the end what he does, this Kamal Hassan has taken this part in his movie, movie with Shah Rukh Khan. Hey Ram was the movie where he was playing a person who wanted to kill Gandhi. In the end he doesn't kill, but he couldn't execute that in that way, because execution is also important. You write the script, but it is also the execution of director which works. and sometimes you give a kind of, don't explain too much in the ending, that also works. So this has worked in Taxi Driver, and this has worked in Breaking Bad. A good guy becoming bad, but we know that the world is not bad. Now in this particular episode, there is nothing to see visually except the first scene, which we see Walter walking naked to cheat the people, like to show off that he has lost something or there's some problem with his mind. Apart from that, there is nothing to watch in this episode. But two interesting things are there, and this is what I was telling you. The prostitute with whom Walter is sleeping. Now we only think that a prostitute or a sex worker is only going for money. I tell you one interesting fact about this thing which has come to me last year. When there was lockdown, I made short documentaries, like 7 to 8 minute documentaries, 7-8 documentaries I made on world famous disasters which shook the world in various parts of the world. There's another YouTube channel by the name Corona Times. So if you type Corona Times Nikhil Sablania, and so it was in Spain, I think. Yeah. So there was a place, and earthquake happened in that place, and tsunami came with earthquake. With earthquake, there was fire and there was tsunami, because tsunamis come with the earthquake, and fire took place in that city, Lisbon. So Lisbon was the city in 1800 something. So this thing happened, and it, like, many of the part was doomed, and the church was destroyed and it got fire. But the writer wrote this thing, very interesting fact, that the house of the prostitutes, the brothel house, that remained intact. So people were thinking, by their own thinking at that time, that God created so much disaster around us, but they were thinking that prostitutes were like bad people, but their homes remained intact. So the way nature thinks is very different between the way we think, and that's why we are human beings. So we have to understand this thing, that there is a goodness everywhere, almost everywhere. And here also, so two characters come, and this is the human touch. I mean, we also watch to get a feeling of healing. So healing also takes place when we are watching, and healing very rarely takes place with movies, but it happens with the long formats, like you are reading a novel. A feeling of novel is like this: a novel just sticks to you. It's a bigger virus than coronavirus. So when you read a very good novel, the characters, the situation, it changes you. So in web series also, the human emotions, human feelings, they are very important. So these two characters, one is Wendy and another is Tuco's uncle Hector. Now Wendy is already a prostitute, and she is sitting with the drug controllers who are having so much power. They are connected to FBI, and she intelligently helps Jesse, and she denies. She says that Jesse was with me for a whole week. And when Jesse thanks her, I mean, look at the expression of Jesse. So what I am saying comes from the expression of Jesse. So Jesse is having this feeling that she is a prostitute, but still she helped me. This feeling is coming from the Jesse's. So as Ashok asked, that when Jesse is the lead, yeah, Jesse will become lead, might become lead. I have not seen the later episodes, but these are the things through which he is learning. Not only he's growing up not only with Walter, but he's also growing up with surroundings. So this was one thing, and another. Then came the Hector, the uncle of a drug mafia, and he is from other ethnic background. He's from other, like, he's, I think, Spanish, and Walter is from European He's like a Red Indian, like not Spanish, but Spanish speaking Red Indian. And what they did in the previous episode, he and Walter, they made fun of him. And his uncle knows that Tuco has his nephew has died. But here also, very interesting scene, that here also when they tried to get information from Hector, Hector denies to give. I mean, he cheats them. So he shows off that he doesn't have any information. So this was very interesting character, and these two things. So when you are writing your web series, think about the human situations. They are cost effective, and they are challenging to bring out your creativity. So think about them, not just that. That is why I said that when I watch Spanish series, even in the Spanish movies, they don't stop. They are like hopping, jumping, one plot, subplot, this twist, that twist, that twist. Don't do this thing. Sit. Keep the things calm. Keep them low. But within that lowness, bring creativity and human touch into your writing, into your episode. So they have to let go Jesse. Jesse tries to contact his parents, but they refuses to help him. So look at the contrast. At the one hand, the prostitute, the Hector, the ones might be a drug mafia, such people, outsiders. Hector is a person whose fun he was making. They helped Jesse, and they are all our outer world people, the people who we throw away from, we think they are bad people, we throw away from their our civilizations. But they are helping Jesse, but at the same time, his parents are not helping. They throw him out of the house. That night, Walt convinces Jesse to continue cooking meth. Later, Hank gets a present at the station. Hugo's teeth grill, encased in a clear. Okay. So they keep the Tuco's teeth in an acrylic cube. So this is there wasn't much. Then the story moves. Now fourth episode. So you see, I told you that the fourth episode was very longer episode, and so is this episode. This is also very long. I will go to this episode tomorrow. So if any one of you wants to ask anything, please go on. I don't give much time to speak. Please go on. Ask or write if you have anything. Or you want to share anything, something you have seen. Yeah, Matthias.
Hello?
Yes, Matthias. Carry on.
Like from this Breaking Bad now, I would have not seen this movie on Netflix.
Pardon?
But considering the two characters, considering the two characters, Jesse and Walter, my question in this is this.
I'm not getting. I'm not
writing a movie script.
Please speak again. There was some disturbance.
My question is this: if you are writing a movie script, how do you try to change a character? Like, if maybe antagonist at the present time is dead, or maybe the protagonist, how do you create a scene that okay, this person now is no more going to be able to continue because of some things he lacks? How do you create, how do you put that into writing to bring up another main character that is going to be the protagonist or antagonist?
Okay, so you are asking that how to bring the change in the character.
Yes, that's my first time.
That is your learning of the life. How do people get changed? Sometimes sometimes what happens, there are plenty of, don't go into artificial thinking. Just look at the world around you. Have you seen, okay, just let me ask you one thing. How old are you, Matthias?
I'm 25.
You are 25. Have you ever, okay, you must have seen people who are like 60, 50, or you must be with your friends from when you were 10 or 15. So you must have seen people for the last, like if when you started observing people. So you must have seen people from the last 15 years. So have you seen any change in them? Have you seen change in the people? Like most of the people, do we change? Tell me first this thing. Have you seen any change in us?
Well, most times I've seen a lot of changes.
You see changes. That people changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my all people changing. It's very difficult for people to get change. So to get them change is like it's in the, that is your character. That character is ready to change. So you can't bring any character to make him change. There has to be, first the character has to be like that the character will change. Now look at the Walter. Take example of Walter. What kind of person he was? So you establish a backstory, or you keep a backstory in the mind. A person who is changing, that is what I said. Very few people among us has the capacity to change themselves. We remain same. And I am telling you, I when I look at the people whom I meet sometimes 10 years back, and whom I know for the last 20 years or last 30 years, I got frustrated that why don't they change? It's very rare that they change. To get a change in a person is very, very difficult thing. So first, who will change? First, the question is not that how a person will be changed. What kind of person he is. He is from what kind of attitude he had when he or she was a child. What kind of upbringing that person had. So we have seen Walter that he was a very studious person. He was an excellent person. When we look at his face, the casting, when we look at the Walter, it reveals that the director had in this thing in the mind that this person has capability to change. So when you are putting a character, you can't bring all the actors to play all the roles. So first think about, as a writer, you think about the backstory of the character. That was there anything? Now we see that Walter changes, and Walter changed in the back. He formed a company and he left that company. This was a change that had with the Walter. Jesse, we are seeing that he is learning with the Walter, with the chemistry teacher. So Jesse is learning and he is observing the world around him. He is suffering and observing. But with Walter, he has capacity to change. And this capacity is not in Skylar, his wife. This capacity is not in other people, like other characters they don't have. And this capacity is not in Jesse. For Jesse, it is very difficult. So Jesse keeps doing all bad things, all like things in the wrong way, and he's suffering again and again. And to a point that his girlfriend dies. Like he finds a girlfriend in the later episode, we will see. He finds a girlfriend who dies. And Jesse can't get himself changed. So changing a person is very difficult way. We have taken something. Okay, Ashok has written me something. I will go to that. There are many films and stories that some of the character arc is unexplained or unfinished. Why such problem rise while writing? Do the writer don't wanna explain that characters or think that character is unimportant? Now, when you are saying that there are many films and stories that some of the characters arc. Now, what is arc? I have never used the word. I don't use any like predefined words. Try to avoid it. So, what is arc? Arc is a kind. Arc is called arc. Something which is bended is arc. So, it is like the character goes from there, and come to here, which is a climax. This is the arc. Am I right, Ashok? So, Ashok, you have used the word arc. So, I want you to just explain the word arc to all of us. Please explain it. Can you come and speak? When we say arc of a character, what does it mean? Okay, you are having network problem. Okay. To me, up to this thing, that it's the journey of the character from the lower to higher and then to come dip to a point, and but there he reaches something that is, to me, is the arc of the character. Now the question is, there are many films and stories that some of the character arc is unexplained or unfinished. See, when you are writing, one thing, there is a main character and there are sub characters. The main character, you need not to explain everything, but if there are things in your mind, and when you go to the production, you sit with the actor. If you are a writer, you tell your director, this is the character. The backstory, I am not putting it, but this is his backstory. And they also call writers to shoot or to discuss with the actor what kind of character is this. So you have to think about the character in advance, the backstory, that this is the backstory. The character is going to this journey, he is doing so and so thing, but I am not showing this. So director will put a same character, and the character when playing the scenes. So the actors which are playing the scenes, they keep this thing in their mind and they act accordingly. So no need to explain everything. I was watching a movie, and it was very made by some very famous director, very good actors were there. But they had to begin this story from the midpoint. So midpoint was actually the beginning. It should be the beginning of the story, and it's not really very, like, it's not necessary to explain the characters, because we project our relatives or friends to the characters and identify with them. So human mind is intelligent enough to understand something, to understand the subtext.
Nowadays, YouTuber decode what directors in mind.
What?
They are explaining in their YouTube.
Who?
Nowadays, YouTubers decode the character.
Okay.
Why their directors put this character, why they created, what are the scenes behind. They explain everything.
Okay.
Decoding.
Okay. So, and why such problem rise while writing? Do the writer don't want to explain that character or think that character is unimportant to run with? So as a writer, you have to know about the character. You should have, even if you don't do the writing work. Suppose, how I tell you now how to think about the character. What should be the date of birth of the character? Circle it. Some people even say that this character will fall into this zodiac sign. So what are the characteristics of the zodiac signs? Circle them. Place of birth, year of birth, the political situation which was there at that time. Suppose I was born in the time of Rajiv Gandhi. Matthias was born in the time when Nelson Mandela was just released. So what kind of thinking was there in the mind of character, and what could be the thinking in the mind of the characters surrounding the main character? What was his educational? Yeah, Ashok, please carry on.
Yeah, sir. I wanted to ask that there are some supporting characters in the film.
Okay.
So while the story is running, they come to support the character, the main lead,
Mm-hmm.
and in between they disappears, and at the end the audience has a question that where is this characters go?
Mm-hmm.
Where did the character ended? Why doesn't he appear here? Such type of questions arises. Audience, no, sir.
No, that you have to deal with. Suppose I am writing a story. Okay, it is my journey that I suppose I start my journey that nothing should happen in the future world, future time, and suppose my story is that I will travel, I will walk on foot from India to say to some city in Europe, where there is a international summit taking place on a particular date. Okay, so my story is like walking. I saw a movie where I will give you a better example, which movie was already there. It was a Japanese or Chinese movie where a Buddhist monk came from China to study Buddhism in India, and he goes back. So this is his journey, and he is meeting many people, and they will come and go. But if you are writing in such a way that these characters are connected to the main character up to the end of the story, then you write in such a way. Then you have to explain them, but the journey is of the main character. Keep it in mind. They are supportive characters. Actually, I don't want to go into this term supportive characters. See, the journey or the story belongs to the main character. Now here, like, they have brought Tuco and they killed him in the story. If they had something in mind, they could have Tuco to some other level. Then story became something different. So you have to first decide what kind of story I am going to make. Am I going to make a Forrest Gump where it is a journey, or a journey I am going from Delhi to some city in, suppose I am going to Munich on foot? Is this a journey? This is a story pattern? That there are various types of stories. Some stories keep the characters connected, some leave them. Just concentrate on the main journey. I think, have I explained that? You understood something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I understood.
So I will finish this. Matthias, I will come to your question. I will discuss more about it in the tomorrow's class. Thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you Jayesh, Santosh, Matthias, Ashok and Gopi. Have a nice day. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It was a nice session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.